guys! Today I want to do my September wrap up. It's gonna be short if I just do that, so I'm gonna also include a review. It's gonna be short because I read exactly 2 books. Go me. I had a major reading slump in the end of August and in the beginning of September because I read both of these at the same time, and I figured out that that's not what works for me. Still did it again and it worked better the time after that, but I didn't finish either of those books in September, so they're not included in this wrap up. So the first book I read was Das Leben, das Universum und der ganze Rest, or Life, the Universe and Everything, and I started this in August, and I think it took me a total of like 20 days to read it, or even more, potentially. I'm not sure. It took me a long ass time to read it. It's the 3rd part in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, and I didn't like it as much as I liked the first 2. I think the excitement has worn off. It is a bit more of a classic storyline of like an adventure kind of book, and it was good. The female character, singular, that is in this, did get a bit more screen time and some more character, and you know, she got to show a bit more of her merits and just talk more and say intelligent things, which I liked. I mean, at the end of the day, it was still, you know, the same absurd science, which I found still very interesting. This could technically also be the end of the series. Like, I feel like both the second and this book had an ending where it would be like, okay, if this is the end, then I understand, that makes sense. But I think there's still some stuff that's left open. A lot of new issues were brought up in this that didn't come up in previous books. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what the 4th and the 5th part bring, especially because I've read a bit about them and I don't know what I think yet. I'm not going to read the last 2 books right away, just because of other things that I want to read more, but I'm going to get to them probably this year still, so. And then I'm going to review the entire series in one bit, and yeah, we'll see when that happens, but you can look forward to that. I keep forgetting the authors. What is wrong with me? But I mean, A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that's quite clearly written by Douglas Adams. I think everyone knows that, but still, like, you know, credit where credit is due. And then the second book I read was The Picture of Dorian Gray, or in German, Das Bild des Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. It took me like 1.5 months total to read it, from like start to finishing it. There's a few specifics I want to talk about, because, I mean, is this a review? Do I know how to do a review? I don't know. Am I going to attempt a review here? Yes. So, the first thing I think that you can get stuck on in this book is characters, because all of them are horrible people. Some more than others. Some, you know, just develop into horrible characters. They're not that way from the get-go. So I think that took me a long time to get over, because I like to relate to the characters, and I couldn't relate at all to any of them. The whole thing they're always talking about is youth and beauty, and I think those are some of the most trivial and unimportant things in life. I think there is so much more that is important. So, you know, I had to get over that. It really helped me that I started annotating this about 1/4 of the way into it, just because that's when I discovered that I could annotate this book, and sort of discussing it like in the margins and on the side of the page, and being like, this is stupid, or why did you do this, or is this foreshadowing? That helped me a lot in being like, okay, the characters are awful, but you know, you can still read it, and make sure that you yourself understand that you don't like endorse their moral compasses, because they're trash. I mean, it was a bit foreseeable. I did accidentally read the ending before I read most of the book, so obviously there is so much homoerotic, or actually more homoromantic subtext in this. I wouldn't even call it subtext, like, it's just plain text, honestly. It's so evident, which that might actually be considered a spoiler. Is it a spoiler? I don't know, I think it's very evident from like page 2. About the writing, it was very beautiful, sometimes a bit lengthy, I'll admit that. There is about 4 pages, I think, where he just writes about gemstones. Literally just about gemstones and their sort of historical importance, but in a way that's very anecdotal. It was not that I was looking for that when I picked up this book, but it's what I got. Sometimes you work your way through some sentences, but overall it was very, very pretty and very poetic. Like, I think the poet definitely shines through in this book. There's a lot of quotable material, and a lot of quotes that are very, you know, you can put them on their own. Like, sometimes it actually felt like certain scenes were just written to insert a certain quote in them. I might do him wrong here. You can probably learn a lot from this story if you're analyzing it. I never know if analyzing like I learned it in school, or try to learn it in school, honestly, helps me in reading a book or actually distracts me or destroys the story a bit for me. I think this is a book where there is a lot of material you can analyze. You can definitely analyze it in sort of a societal way and see what the societal structures were at the time. You can also analyze it in an autobiographical way of sort of Oscar Wilde's experience as a gay man in his times, which can't have been easy. It can probably also be considered a critical view of beauty and youth, even though the character's glorification of it is like next level. I think I would feel a bit lost if I would just read this by myself and then just have thoughts or, you know, ideas of interpretations, but really know what to discuss them with further. So yeah, that's the review. Is this a decent review? I don't know. Okay, I really don't know. At the end of the day, I'm glad I read it, I think is the thing. I am a bit skeptic towards classics. I think you would consider this a classic. I really don't know genres, but I'm gonna consider this a classic. I don't know how I feel about them necessarily. I guess out of the classics, this is definitely one that is good to have read, but also probably one of the more fun ones to read. I don't know if this was a helpful review at all, but this is my thoughts on this book. I think they portray my feelings towards this book really well, in that they're very convoluted and I couldn't really come to a conclusion, which I couldn't with this book. Was it written beautifully? Yes. Do I understand what the message of this was? Probably not. So these are the two books I read in September. Go me. And I hope you enjoyed this review of The Picture of Dorian Gray. I don't know how reviews work, clearly. So yeah, but if you want more useless reviews of books that I've read, subscribe. I'm good at this, aren't I? Okay, no, that was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and I'll see you next week. Bye!